Salut tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. If you're new to this channel, welcome and thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button so that you can always know when my videos are out. Let me tell you, I've been trying to make a video and this weather has not given me a break. It's been raining in Abidjan and it's usually almost dull every day, and for someone who depends on natural light to make videos. Anyway, with this video today, I just want to talk about things that I haven't really gotten used to since I moved to Abidjan. Some of them maybe it will take time for me to get used to, but others, no way, never. I don't care about culture and stuff. No. First thing that I find really awkward, like very awkward for me, is the greetings, and that involves the kissing or pecking on the cheek kind of greeting French people like to do. In France, apparently, the number of kisses you give someone on the cheek when you're greeting them, it varies from 1 to maybe 5 depending on where you live. So there's even a website, if I remember the name, I'm going to put the link in the description box. It tells you which part of France you should give like how many number of kisses. So in Abidjan, when greeting people, sometimes you don't know if someone is going for the 1 kiss or 2. And where I come from, usually you either hug someone or you shake their hands, especially if you don't know them, if it's someone in a high authority like your boss. There have been a number of times where I stretched out my hand to shake someone's hand and they leaned forward to give me a kiss, and it was a total mess and I felt so awkward. Like every time I think about this moment, I cringe. Literally. The second thing about greetings is the number of times you'll greet people, like from morning, from the time you leave the house to the time you get back home, you're always greeting people. You get in an elevator in a building with strangers, you'll greet them. Getting in a taxi, especially the ones you share, like the Woros or the buses, you'll have to say hello to the person you're going to sit next to. The other thing is how people here share food. When they're eating, they eat from one, let's say, bowl or plate. The first time a friend of mine invited me to have gaba and we had to share, like everyone was digging in from the same bowl, and you can see someone is just putting their fingers in their mouth and licking it and then putting it back in that same place, in the same food that I need to eat. It's so disgusting seeing people lick their fingers and then touching the same food I'm going to touch. No. Ivorian food. The thing is, Ivorians really like pepper in their food, you know, chili, and maybe it's a West African thing. If you can eat Indian food, then you can eat Ivorian food. I can't eat Indian food because too much pepper in my food can make me sick. I have acidity problems. There have been times when I ate something here, it had a lot of pepper, and I was like, okay, no, it's fine, let me just try it out, you know, everything's going to be cool, what's going to happen? And I ended up being sick. Sometimes I say, if I want to try a different food here and I know it has stew and I know it's going to have a lot of pepper, I'd rather do it on a day when I know I'm not going anywhere in the next 2 days. So in case of anything, I know I'm just in the house. The second thing about Ivorian food that I don't like and I'll never ever get used to is oil. Ivorians like cooking with a lot of oil. Like most of the time you just see it floating in the soup. I think maybe it's because they're used to cooking with palm oil, but that is different. I'm thinking palm oil is healthier than just the normal vegetable oil we buy at the supermarket. So because Abidjan is, you know, humid, hot, all that, and then every house, shop, building, they have the AC. So you'll think that I would like the AC, you know, to cool down, but I really hate it. Ivorians really love it. Every time I go somewhere and the AC is on, I always end up freezing. So So most of the times, if I know I'm going to be stuck somewhere for longer hours, I have to carry a sweater or a scarf. I noticed 16 degrees has to be their most favorite temperature, you know, for the AC. What the AC does to me is that 10 minutes of sitting in a room with the AC on, my nose gets stuffy, my eyes get teary. So this is why I don't like the AC. The education system here is very confusing to me. I've tried a number of times to understand it. There have been times when I needed to fill in a form and then I'm looking and they're like, diploma back plus 5, I don't know, 5 years, or master 1, master 2. I'm like, what the hell is this? Even the ones just to explain which class my cousins are because they go to a French school is very difficult for me. I never remember their grading system. And by the way, do all French people or people who've gone through the French system of education write the same way? I kind of feel like they all have the same handwriting. What's up with that? So in Abidjan, they banned the use of plastic bags, especially at the supermarkets, because at the markets we still use plastic bags. To this day, I literally have to remind myself, carry a bag before you go out, in case you need to buy something at the supermarket. There have been so many times when I've gone to the supermarket, grabbed all the things I wanted to buy, only to realize I didn't bring a bag. And I don't like buying the bags at the supermarket because we have so many of them in the house. So yeah, there have been times when I just didn't do shopping because I didn't have an extra bag to carry my stuff. And there have been times when I had to carry things in my hand, not so many, just a couple. The way people dress here, especially women, like I said in my previous video, I find that some of the things women wear here are a bit too much for daytime wear, unlike in Nairobi. But in Nairobi, yes, there are people who will dress like that during the day, but it's always a risky affair. Here it's normal, I would say. Maybe it's just cocody, I'm not sure. You know, just walking around. If a woman feels comfortable walking around with something a bit shorter than what I'm used to, then I usually feel like, whoa, if you were in Nairobi, maybe you wouldn't have that skirt by the time you get home. I don't think I'm still very used to it. Sometimes I have like doubts when I wear something before I go outside. I really don't like it when people use the word il faut. You know, the French verb falloir. So when someone says il faut laisser, il faut partir, it depends on how someone uses it, but I find that when Ivorians speak in a certain tone, it's like they're forcing me to do something or they are commanding me to do something. So for those of you who don't know, like falloir is the verb equivalent to must in English, and I honestly don't get how sometimes that comes in a sentence, in just like a normal sentence, when you, instead of telling someone leave that alone, they just have to use faut laisser. I'm like, don't talk to me like that. So I usually feel so offended when this word is used. Maybe I'll get used to it, but I think the way I learned it and the way they use their tones here, they just don't match. And in my head it means something different, but the way it's used is completely different. In Cote d'Ivoire we use CFA. The most stressful thing about the currency is that the money here has more zeros. I don't know how to explain it. My first days here, I had a problem with the taxi and I would bargain for something even less, and probably I think I used to look stupid, and that was, the taxi would tell me it's 3,000 CFA. So in my head it used to click that is 3,000 Kenya shilling, and to me that is really expensive to pay for a certain distance. But slowly, sometimes even when I'm bargaining, I have to remember, okay, 3,000 here is not 3,000 in Kenya. 50,000 here is not 50,000 in Kenya. So if I'm paying for something, I always have to remind myself, because it's in its thousands or it sounds really expensive, it's not really the same as in Kenya. So here they do that thing. I don't know, it offends me when someone does that. I'm like, did you do that at me? Is it something I did? So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Until my next video,